Welcome into Jags A.M. We're on location today. We love a field trip. I'm Kainani Stevens, Brian Sexton, John Oehser with me. We're now in Park, Michigan for joint practice with the Lions. I'm a big fan of Lions practice. I feel like you always can get a little something out of not going up against your own team.
Yeah, no doubt. And as Brian, you know, it's nice to wake up and not feel like you're already sweating. The sweat's starting to come in because it is getting warmer. A lot of good matchups to talk about today.
And we had an opportunity to visit with Mark Brunell, who everyone who's watching knows, who's up here as the quarterbacks coach, and get some insight. And they're excited. We're excited. You know, two teams that led the league in terms of year-over-year wins. Both the Jaguars and Lions won 6 more games in 2022 than they did in 2021. So both teams are being looked at as up-and-comers, which makes it a fun day.
Absolutely. Let's get into our big things. We're going to start off with 1 versus 1 because the ones are going against the ones, and for once it's not against their own team, right? The Lions and the Jaguars are going to do some joint practices. They just started, so they're going to do some of these team drills against each other, and it's nice to see exactly how your team is going to stack up. John, can you just kind of explain how it's a little bit different than what we see on the day-to-day?
Well, it's because you're not only getting ones versus ones, meaning they get the opportunity, there's very little work for the backups, and you're getting more extended time for the ones versus the ones because there's just more time to do it. That wasn't a very great explanation, but I think somewhere in there is an explanation. Also, it's different from the preseason game because the coaches can say, hey, we want to get X number of red zone, X number of short yardage. They can control the environment and control what they get a chance to work on.
Doug Peterson told us in our preseason television production meeting last Friday in Fort Worth that these reps are more valuable than the reps that he could get them in a preseason game because they stack them. Let me give you one that I'm looking for, and it's not necessarily a 1, though I think anybody who's watched Antonio Johnson this year realize he's coming hard and fast. I mean, this is a very talented young safety. Why he was available in the 5th round, we just don't know. But look, there's 2 guys he's going to get a match up against. Jahmyr Gibbs, who Mark Brunell was telling us is amazing in space, right? And the tight end Sam Laporta, who is a shifty, very difficult to cover tight end. Well, those are 2 positions that over the course of the year he's going to have to be able to account for. Great, right? All 3 rookies. Let's see how he handles 2 guys who are very highly thought of by the Lions and, by the way, by the Jaguar staff.
John, any specific matchups you're looking at, or are you just excited to kind of see how the Jags match up in general?
I think you have to watch Aiden Hutchinson versus Anton Harrison, Walker Little, whoever he matches up against. He's a natural pass rusher who can do it. And it's always good for somebody like Anton Harrison, who hasn't had very many NFL live reps, to get them against somebody he hasn't seen. It's the more you have seen going into the regular season, the better for Anton Harrison.
And another high pick as well in Aiden Hutchinson, as we know. And I think also we didn't mention, but some of the wide receivers going up against RDBs are going to be interesting. Marvin Jones Jr. that we're familiar with, and of course Amon-Ra St. Brown, who has that boomer bust ability. Yeah. So you have to imagine for Tyson Campbell that'll be a good matchup.
And Jamison Williams, who again Brunell was saying is as fast as he has seen. I mean, the guy can just flat out run. So a lot of these younger defensive backs are going to have their hands full keeping up with that speed today. It'll be really good reps for them.
And my guess is you will see them try to get some of the younger guys in during those 1 versus 1s times. They're not really ones, but I think the coaching staff wants to see some of this 3rd, 4th, 5th corner against really good players. So you might see Tyson and Darius Williams come out a little bit, whereas some of the other normal starters may not.
Big thing number 2 is going to be feeling the heat. Now, you can take that 2 ways because they're not feeling the heat because we're not in Jacksonville right now, which is a little bit of a nice break, I would assume. Doug Peterson talked a little bit about just kind of getting the team some chill time away where, you know, we're not in the beating sun in the middle of the day in Florida. And then also feeling the heat because, you know, some of these bubble guys, or maybe they didn't show out in that first game the way they wanted to. The pressure's on a little bit because we're getting into that section where you need to really show what you have if you want to make this team, if you're on the edge. Brian, what do you look for in terms of just whether it's in a game or not, what you need to see?
Well, cut-down day is 2 weeks from today, right? So you can count the number of practices, the number of games, and then these guys who are sitting at the bottom of the roster, Kai, are looking at the number of reps they're going to get. I mean, you can count them, right? These guys know I only have 27 or 35 more opportunities, and they better be good to overcome any that I made mistake-wise in the game against the Cowboys. So, yeah, the heat's on. These guys know that every rep counts. Because let's be honest, John, from 1 to 53, you can probably put 47 spots in place and know the roster. There's only a handful of jobs, and these guys are going back to their hotel rooms tonight and calling home and saying, I did great today, I feel good, or pray for me. I didn't have a good day. I need to have a good day tomorrow.
And that could become even more important Saturday, because I think first-team guys are going to get most of the reps. So these second and third-team guys, it feels like Saturday is going to be a big opportunity for them.
All right, and our third big thing is, would you rather? There's an article in The Athletic actually right now that would you rather comparison piece of the Lions and the Jaguars. We mentioned we're in similar situations, right? Picking the top of the draft 2 years ago, having a comeback, maybe better season than most people expected, and then now there's high expectations. Both are, expected, if not favored, to win their divisions. But which would you rather be? I think I know which side you guys are going to err on, but there is an argument, I assume, to be made for the Lions as well.
I guess. Trevor Lawrence.
Yes,
I know. That's the trump card. I'm aware.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's situational, right? Because you look at the division, maybe, the NFC North is kind of whatever Minnesota's going to be, but the other two are kind of out of it at this point. So maybe that.
Well, again, the conversation that we had with Brunell this morning, he likes Dan Campbell, thinks they've got a good staff, likes the ownership, the situation here with a revived team and the facilities they have. Their salary cap is healthy. They've got a talented squad, but they don't necessarily have their guy at quarterback. And in Jacksonville, all of those things are in place, plus Trevor Lawrence. I read the article, too, and I got to the end, and I'm like, man, it's like 20,000 words, and the guy didn't even tell me what he thought.
Right.
I think Jaguars are better set up because of Trevor Lawrence.
Is Trevor not practicing?
I think we all know what we
Did something happen
think.
that I don't know about?
I just thought it was interesting. I think we all know. We know what the answer is. All right, stay with us. Coming up, we're going to talk about the 53, some people we have our eyes on that are looking to get on this final 53-man roster. But until then, we're live from joint practice training camp in Allen Park, Michigan. We'll be right back.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. And to celebrate, for a limited time, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an unbeatable 4.99 interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Now is your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. In 20-plus communities in the best locations in Northeast Florida, Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines and into the game with a game-changing 4.99% offer. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rates available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to DreamfindersHomes.com for more details.
Hi Jags fans, Andre Sisco here, safety of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, I've partnered up with Luray Peanut Company to serve a greater mission for the Jacksonville community with the Peanut Pickoff. Here's the deal. Every time the Jags make a pick, Luray is going to donate to youth football initiatives in and around the Jacksonville area. On top of that, the Jaguars Foundation will match every dollar. With each interception, our team inches closer to that W, and our kids get to train for a brighter future. Remember, it was always the Jags. Duval!
Crown Royal's That Deserves a Crown program recognizes local heroes for making a positive impact in the community. The Jaguars and Crown Royal are giving back to those who served this season, celebrating these individuals with the ultimate VIP Jaguars home game experience. Nominate someone who deserves a crown today at jaguars.com/Crown Royal Promotion. Please drink responsibly.
Price.com is the easiest way to save money with comparison shopping, cashback, coupons, all in one. It's free. Try Price.com today. Welcome back to Jags A.M. presented by Jet HomeLoans. We are on location. We're on a field trip, whatever you want to call it. We're in Allen Park, Michigan, joint practice with the Lions. We're going to talk over the 53. This is a segment we do where we talk about either people on the bubble of the roster or people that need to do really well in camp if they want to have a successful, showing. So who's someone that you guys are looking at that's kind of on the edge right now?
Seth Williams. I'm going with Seth, 6'2", 210 pounds, talented wide receiver who made two big third down catches last week in Dallas. We're talking about that sixth receiving spot, and he's the guy who separated himself. I know Harris and Cooks and Jeray Jenkins all made plays as well, but Williams is a guy who can contribute on special teams, and if you're going to be that sixth guy and you're going to be active on game day, you've got to contribute on teams, and from my understanding, he's ahead in that category. Seth Williams has been really impressive.
Well, I went with Jacob Harris for much the same reason. They don't really have a throw-it-up-and-go-get-it guy on this receiving core right now. Jacob Harris, 6'5", I think he's 210, big guy. So, to me, I don't think he'll make the team because I think the numbers will work against him. I do wonder if at some point during the regular season they wish they had a guy like him. I also think he'll definitely be in the NFL somewhere. He was a third-round pick by the Rams.
Yeah.
He can play. He had a really bad injury when he was a rookie. He's going to catch on somewhere, and he's a guy to me that when they're talking about guys that they're going to be tough decisions and that they know they're going to cut good players, he may be top of the list.
And both of these guys that we've talked about and the guy that you're going to talk about have all made plays consistently on the practice field.
Every day.
It's not like they were just flashes. These are guys that are going to try to get through to the practice squad, or if they don't think they can, maybe they can flip them to a team that's receiver needy for a late-round pick.
They're so loaded at the wide receiver position. That's why we're keeping this all wide receiver position. We feel like those first 5 spots are locked up. I think we moved Parker Washington into that 5 spot, at least on my list. So the 6th spot is what we're looking at. And as you mentioned, special teams is going to be huge. That's why I picked Tim Jones for mine, just because I feel like he's been here. He's contributed on special teams before, and they know what he's capable of doing. And we saw him doing that in the first preseason game against Dallas. And I think, unfortunately, that's what's going to come down to. If you had an extra spot, maybe you get one of the taller wide receivers and fill that role that you don't have. But I don't know if they have space for it right now. You might try and sneak somebody onto the practice squad, but as we mentioned, it's a very deep position group, so a lot of these people are going to get picked up by somebody else.
And John, it's not every year that they keep 4 tight ends, but when you look at that room, they're going to keep all 4 of those guys. So it's not like you could even have a 7th receiver and 3 tight ends or 3 running backs. The numbers just don't work for it based on the other position groups.
And I think Tim Jones makes the team, and I think he's going to be, if he doesn't, he might be their toughest cut because they love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, stay with us, guys. We're going to come back, get some Ozone mailbag questions with the wise John Oehser, and then we'll get you some more details about joint practice.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. And to celebrate, for a limited time, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an unbeatable 4.99 interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Now is your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. In 20-plus communities in the best locations in Northeast Florida, Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines and into the game with a game-changing 4.99% offer. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rates available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to DreamfindersHomes.com for more details.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. Step up to luxury. FieldsAuto.com. We are live in Allen Park, Michigan for Jags A.M. on this Wednesday. Things are heating up a little, but it's still nowhere near Jacksonville, so still a little bit comfy. John, I know you enjoy this environment, and of course we want your wisdom as we got a couple Ozone mailbag questions, as the viewers always have
My
questions
wisdom
for
you shall receive.
Oh, you're so gracious to us.
Why are you kissing up to him?
We're going to start off with Dingus from Duval. Great, love this. It seems to have been a while since a Jaguars defender outplayed his contract or draft position. Do you have any candidates for this year to break out?
Well,
I'm hoping for Cisco.
Sorry.
Yeah.
As this reader noted, we cut the question down for space. Devon Hamilton's starting to do that.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, Roy Robertson Harrison maybe a little bit.
He got a new deal this year.
Yeah, and outplayed the one that he originally signed. Cisco's a good choice for this, but since the reader mentioned this, I'll go ahead and say maybe Yasir Abdullah, who, kind of on this week. I don't know if he was asking about rookies per se, but Yasir seems like a guy that can get you 4 or 5 sacks, that can get you impact. Cisco's the best choice because as a third-round pick, you feel like he's got a chance to be a real breakout guy, Brian. So I'd go with either of those two. You probably have somebody else.
No, I think you're absolutely right on Cisco because I think from that Kansas City game in the regular season on, he was a real force, and offenses had to know where number 5 was. So I think he's the perfect choice. And Abdullah, you could say, so far, Antonio Johnson, right?
Sure.
Two guys, it's like, what were they doing available so late? Because clearly they're playmakers. Well, they're there that late because scouts said Abdullah's too short. I don't know what the story is with Johnson. He has freakish physical abilities. And when you watch that kid, you're like, they're going to have to find a way to get him on the field. He's too good.
Yeah, I wonder how is the only reason I didn't choose him. You wonder where they can find a role for him. You know where they're going to find a role for Abdullah, a role for Abdullah on third down, Kai.
Lots of young options, as we've been talking about, especially showing out in those preseason games. And then our other final question for you from Ozone today is from Michael from Orange Park, Florida. He says, what makes you so sure that the Jaguars will be good this season?
Well, I chose this question because after a preseason game, everybody, I don't know, kind of nitpicks. And, they didn't do this, they didn't do this. Trevor had an interception, or I didn't like this from the defense. I think it's important right now to remember the big picture, and that's that, they're going to be better because do you have any thought that the offense isn't going to be good, Ryan?
No.
So, no. The defense, I don't think, minimum they're going to be as good as last year to me because they bring everybody back. Caldwell's going to be better. So I think rather than focus on every little thing that worries you, remember, Trevor's doing this. The offense should continue to do this. I don't know what their record will be after 5 games, but they feel to me like a team that's going to be in ascension throughout the whole regular season. So I don't doubt they're going to be good.
Let's use this as a reminder. Preseason games are rarely game planned. They didn't have a game plan for that one last week. They're going in looking at players and situational matchups and how guys play next to each other in the lines. You cannot...
Making sure you get guys reps. That's right.
It has nothing to do with how they're going to play in the regular season. In fact, it's a far cry from when they game plan and the way they're going to play because they don't want to show anybody anything. Preseason games, ladies and gentlemen, are about evaluation, not about the big picture. So my feeling of why they're going to be good, number 16 is a really big reason why. Oh, and 0 gives more room in the passing game, and this whole thing is about spacing for guys to make plays. They've got those guys.
Everybody else. All right, stay with us. We'll have a preview of this joint practice today, and we'll let you know what's coming up.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. And to celebrate, for a limited time, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an unbeatable 4.99 interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Now is your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. In 20-plus communities in the best locations in Northeast Florida, Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines and into the game with a game-changing 4.99% offer. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rates available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to DreamfindersHomes.com for more details.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Jags fans, if you want customized Jaguars furniture for your home, you can check out zipchair.com to browse all customizable options. ZipChair is furniture for fans. Guys, we're out here at joint practice, Allen Park, Michigan. Today's probably they're full pads today, so it'll be maybe a little more physical than what we might see tomorrow. But is there any drills or anything in particular you look forward to when there's joint practice?
I think mainly, Brian, 11 on 11. You just want to see how these guys fare against each other when they're put in a position to make plays against an opponent. It's general, but that's what it is.
You're absolutely right. And I'm going to go more specific than that. You can't get away from the Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson comparison. Obviously, it was one of the first questions asked to Doug in his news conference by a Detroit reporter today. Hutchinson was a proven pass rusher. He had a big season last year. We knew Trayvon was going to have to work to evolve as a pass rusher. Let's see how he does today.
We'll have a ton to bring you tomorrow. Jags A.M will be live out here tomorrow again at joint practice, and we're going to head out now and get all the details for you to share with you. So we'll see you then.